Good morning, Debbie. You made it. I'm live again. This won't be too often, though. Unfortunately, I can't go live as much as I used to. But I am working on projects that I've been looking at, and I have left them to basically collect dust. So I finished my farmer's wife quilt. I've put it all together. I finished the beautiful border on it. I finished the backing yesterday, which took me all morning just to sew my backing on with that 2020 thing in it. And I just didn't feel like doing the binding, so I haven't got the binding done, but I will do that before it goes to be quilted. Unfortunately, this quilt will not fit on my quilt frame. It is much wider than I expected it to be. It is huge. It actually hangs over on my queen bed. So it is a beautiful size, but unfortunately, I can't quilt it. But I can probably do my teapot quilt. But I am in the future going to be looking at a quilting frame. Mary, hi, honey. I am going to be looking at a quilting frame that is better than what I have right now, because what I have is when I wind my quilt up on the quilting frame, the bar that the quilt rests on after it's been quilted, it bows. So it bows like this. So my quilt never gets to stay straight no matter what I do. So it's a cheapy old quilt frame. We have a local dealer here that some lady just bought a quilt frame for her machine and she paid 6,000 for it, and it's brand new. And she was having the same problem I was having with the um, with the bar bowing when you wind the quilt up. So that is actually a pain in my ass. I will get my quilt to show you my farmer's wife quilt that I finished. I will try not to mess it up too much, but I do keep my quilts in packages so um, they don't collect dust. Yes, I am going back to work soon, Debbie. Unfortunately, I have to. So, this backing took me forever. I had to think about how I was going to do the backing, but I finally got it done. So, this is the quilt top, which I took a picture of, but I didn't take a picture of it yet. This is the binding. I got these little tags in my Sew Sampler box. It says on point, and this quilt is actually made on point. So I did make a tag called Farmer's Wife 1930 by Ruby Lockwood 2020 because that's when I originally started it. But this is my binding. This border is so pretty. Oh my gosh. I just love how I did this border. So I'm not going to pull the whole thing apart, but I am going to give you an idea as to this is the border here on the quilt. It's just so pretty. Debbie, when you make your quilt, make sure you have extra fabric to make this. So what I did in the four corners is I just put a solid piece of brown. So that's a corner. Um, this quilt just turned out far better than I expected it. It is huge. It is really big. So yeah, this is the side. So I put this border all the way around. I put this border. So I haven't took a picture, but I was going to take this outside and get a better picture of it because the colors in the picture do not show up in my room because my room is pretty dark. So I'm thinking of taking this outside and getting Jeff to hold it up and I'll snap a picture of it. That way you can see that flying geese border, which is just absolutely beautiful. And then I did this, which was a bloody nightmare. Oh my God, just even squaring up all of this was a freaking nightmare. I will never do another pieced backing like this ever again. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of frustration. But I mean, the end result is beautiful. But this is in the back of my quilt that says 2020 upside down, of course. So I have this much room minus 4 inches up here because the 4 inches is what the quilter needs for winding up the quilt before they start quilting. So I left only that much room. So this writing is closer to the top than it is on the bottom. So the bottom, and that's the way that they had done this. So the bottom is much larger. Like I was working with huge, humongous piece of fabric for this backing. Oh my God, it was a nightmare. But I did finally get it all squared up, ironed. It's all pressed. So I am going to open it up because I am going to get a picture of it. But I have to have Jeff hold it up outside. It's pretty massive, big piece of fabric. But that is how the backing will look. It is all joined in. It's all pieced. So what I did is I sewed my fabric in half. And then I took it and I leveled it all off at the top. So I folded it all. It took me forever to fold this to get. This is where it is seamed in the middle because it's two hunks of fabric sewed together to get the width. Okay, so this is where I joined it. What I did, joined it, pressed in all the pieces nicely. Then I took this piece, this one here, this was all by itself. Then I took this piece, I laid out my fabric nicely on the length part, lengthwise, and I measured this piece to this piece, and I cut a hunk off. So I cut this big of a piece off of the top of the fabric. Then I took those two pieces that I cut off, I cut them in half, and I joined them. I joined them on the ends of this. So I joined the two pieces, one on this side and one on the other side. So I joined the two pieces like so. And then after I did that, I squared it up. I made sure it was nice and straight. Then I took one end of my fabric, my backing, the other big hunk left. I sewed it to the top of this. Then I folded the bottom up and did the top up there. And then I just took my fabric, it was a big tube when I was done. And then I just cut it right evenly in half. Basically, not quite evenly in half. But like I said, this here is closer to the top, and that's what I wanted. That's what I was going for. That's exactly how it turned out. So this pieced backing was a lot of work to just sew onto the fabric. But it did turn out nice. It's all pressed. It's all ironed. It's all flat. When I piece my fabric, I piece it with the selvages pretty wide. So I basically do it the width of my selvage plus 1/8 of an inch. So you can see I go 1/8 of an inch in. So none of this selvage ever shows on this side of my quilt. Yeah, this was a massive amount of work. But I'll tell you what, in the end, when I take a picture of this and you get to actually see it, the end result was well worth all the hard work. I mean, I don't normally do these kind of difficult quilts, but it was a challenge for myself and I had no problem. It was just a matter of very time-consuming project and all the piecing for it. All the piecing, all the pieces that went together in that also is called a great deal of patience as well. But It's worth it, guys, because it's all done. The backing is all finished. It's beautiful. I'm pleased with how it turned out. I'm sure the quilter, when she gets this, is going to be blown away by this backing. She's probably going to be like, wow, I need to do that. I would do it again, but I know what I just went through to do this. I won't do it again. I don't want to go. I don't want to go through this. But these are the tags. This is my binding that I was too lazy to sew together like I done for this quilt. I was too lazy to do it, so it didn't get done. But anyway, this is the all done farmer's white quilt, all sewed together. The borders are on. I'm done. This is all I need to do, except when I get it back from the quilter, I will have to sew the binding on, because I don't want them sewing my binding on, because the last time the quilter that quilted my quilt, she sewed the binding upside down. So I don't like it, but that's how she did it. But I will eventually work on the binding and do my binding, get it all prepped and ready for when the quilt is done. That's what I did with this binding. Sewed it all together and got it ready for when this quilt gets quilted. And it's not quilted. So, yeah, that's what I did. I got this done. It took me 3 days to get it sewed together. That's a long time, to sew a quilt together. But there was a lot of pieces. There was a lot of matching seams you had to do with all these cornerstones. Lots and lots and lots of matching seams. So you really had to make sure your sewing was pretty consistent with so yeah, I just keep them in these bags till they're ready to go get quilted. That's basically the good way to keep them dust free, is just keep them in bags. That's that. So there's 2 quilts ready to be quilted. Amazing. And I just keep them up there. And that's that. So I figured, I've been working on this Moda Blockheads 3 quilts. I printed off today all the rest of the, these are all the patterns I have not done yet. These ones. So this again, that's my fabric. But these are the blocks. This is just going to be so pretty when it's all sewed together. I love this block. This is actually one of my favorite blocks of the Moda block. Isn't this pretty? It's on point. It's so cute. I finished this one. So these 2 here, this needs another 6-inch block. So here we have 2 6-inch blocks here, and we have a 12-inch block here. And then over here I flipped it, did the 12-inch block here, and did the 2 6-inch blocks here. So that's how I've done all of these. 12-inch, 12-inch, 2 6-inch, and 2 6-inch. So 2 different patterns. And I want to finish this quilt up. I'm not making it huge. 12-inch, 12-inch, and 2 6-inch. You can see the difference in the patterns here. And this one, I probably may take this apart and put a sashing on it. And the reason I say that is because the blocks, they clash together. There's no separating, like it just looks like a whole bunch of work, but nothing separating them to define the actual block itself. So I'm thinking if I did a sashing between all of the blocks, it will separate the blocks and it will help make it a little bit bigger. So that's my goal, is to take these apart. I only have 3 of them sewn together. Won't take me that long to take these all apart and press them and put a sashing on all of them, because like I said, the blocks, like unless you have something bold like this, but you can't really see. Like that's a whole block itself right here. You can't really tell that because it blends in with this block. Same with this one. You know, all of them just blend together. So if you separate them with a sashing, and I would go with white, of course, because that's my background fabric. Um, the white, I think, would look pretty cool because like this here, if I bordered this with white, that's going to look really cool when it's sewed into one of these um, blocks here, like that. Same with this. This one here, border it with white. This one's so pretty. I really like, but I love some of the new designs, the ones that I've been out of touch with. So I'm probably going to take these apart and sash them. I think a sashing is going to help make this bigger, and it's going to, like, look at this one. I pressed all the seams open. It is going to define each one of these blocks individually. So that's my goal for this piece here. That's what we're going to work on, is some of these blocks. Now I have to decide if I want to make a 6 or a 12, and that's what I went with. So this is block 21, and I finished at block 20. And it gives you the step-by-step instructions. I didn't pick block I love this one. So this is probably going to be my 12-inch block, because something like this here's got a lot of pieces, but this has way more. So I'll probably do a 12-inch block with that. And yeah, I would definitely do a 12-inch block with that one. Shows you how to sew it all together. Look at this one. That's going to be cute for a 6-inch block. It's little houses. And this here is all free downloads. You go to Blockheads 3 in Google, and you'll come up with the first link. Will say Blockheads 3 Archive. Click on that because it gives you a picture, and every single block from 1 to 56 is free to download in there, and they come in nice PDF, step-by-step instructions done by some really professional, well-known designers that design for Moda. So you'll recognize a lot of them. So the ones I want to make are only the ones that I printed off. So I didn't print off every single one. Any of the ones that had appliques, I did not choose those ones. So there's some really busy ones, some really easy ones, and I like that. Like this one here, I really like this, called Fractured Rainbow. Look at how pretty that is. So I'm quite excited to make that too. So I'm just going to go along, start with 21, work on this with 3 colors because it'll be my white, and then I need 2 colors, a dark one and a light one. So this is going to be a 6-inch block, because the next one here, I'm choosing this one to be a 12-inch block, because I need 2 6-inch blocks to go with my 12-inch. This will be my 12-inch block, called Lucky Penny. So let me pick out my fabric. I know I'm not going to need a whole whack of it, but I do have a lot of scraps in here of white. So I could probably use a lot of these. And I do starch all my fabrics. So I'm going to use that. No, I'm going to use this piece. This looks like it'll fit all my white. And I'll starch that. Now let me just grab my glasses here and see what size squares I need. I need 8 3.5-inch squares. 8 3.5-inch squares. 32 2-inch squares. Oh, that's a 12. 8 2-inch squares. 8 2-inch squares in color A and color B. Okay, so I got that. That'll be my colors. So I just need 2-inch squares. And I need 8 of them. So I need something. This pink is nice, and I got 2 pieces of it. That's a nice dark color. I need something with 2 pieces. How about this gold? There we go. How about that? Nice and bold with my white. Let me see if I can find something a little bit lighter. Don't think I really like it that dark. How about the pink and the green and not so bold? How's that? Pink, green, and white. There we go. There's my colors. Easy peasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh, bye, Mary. All right. So I am going to starch my fabrics. Let's put these back in here. I might need some more, but we'll see. Ooh, I might even use these. They feel like they've already been starched. That's that. Okay. Yeah. So how many pieces? I need 32 1 1/4 inch squares. Draw a diagonal line from corner to corner on the wrong side of each square. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. Hi, Negan. Hi, Nan. Come on, Iron. Hurry up. My machine got a good cleaning, dusting. Yep, inside out, new needle, new blade. Everything's new, clean, and ready to go. My iron's still blinking. Hi, Jan. Good morning. There we go. So just give this a little pressy. Same with these. I can use these because they are already starched. I can feel it. So I'm starting off with a 6.5 unfinished square, and when it's sewed on, it will be a 6-inch square. It's feeling stiff. I think that's pretty good. Just going to let my iron heat up a little bit. And then we'll iron these. They didn't really get sprayed that great, but they're good enough. That's one way to. It's pretty stiff. I highly recommend starching your fabric. I really do, guys. Even though these are pre-cut squares, I'm subcutting these, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not using the full 5-inch square. But let me see. I'll check on the ruler to see how much it shrunk after spraying it with starch, because I know they do shrink up. So if you're using a pattern that calls for a charm pack, and you got 5-inch squares in there, well, you can't really starch it because these do shrink. And I don't know what if it shrinks in the grain or against the grain. I can't remember. So check that and see how much it shrunk. So let's take a ruler and check this out. It shrunk about 1/8 of an inch that way, and it did not shrink this way. So it shrunk in the width. So you can't really go from the tip of these. You have to go from the edge. So it shrunk maybe 1/8 of an inch. Ooh, that one shrunk lots. This one shrunk over 1/8, almost 1/4, the green one. So it's not, this is the 5-inch mark. It's not even near the 5-inch. So this is why if you use pre-cuts, you can't starch it. If the pattern calls for the full 5-inch square, 10-inch square, whatever it is, you can't do that. I did this with my jelly roll when I was making my Christmas quilt. I starched all the pieces, but I subcut them to 2 inches instead of 2.5 inch. So each one of them lost either length or width. Pretty sure it lost the width, because when I trimmed them off, I was not trimming off a full 1/4 because they were shorter. So they shrunk. But I like my stuff starched. I just think it cuts nicer. It sews nicer. So why not? Okay. So this wants you to cut 8 2-inch squares, 8 2-inch squares of each of these fabrics. So like that, I'm just going to line these up. Wow, look at how much those shrunk. So I'm going to line that up. I'm going to line these 2 pieces up. Line it up here like so. Actually, I'll put the pink on the bottom because the pink looks bigger than the green. And I'm going to cut through all these layers, and I'm going to make this a 4-inch block. So first things first, let me trim off this edge and get a nice straight edge. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, that's done. Now we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to get a nice straight edge. I can't see that, it's too far away. Okay, so now we're going to use this to cut our 2-inch blocks. There's one. We need 2 of them because we have to cut 2 from each section. There's 2. Those are good. Those out of the way. Back up. And I'm really not going to save these pieces because they're too small to do anything with. All right. They don't want you to. So there's those 2. There's 2, 4, 6, and 8. There's my pieces. Ouch. Now, I need to cut. I'm going to cut these first. We need 1 1/4 inch pieces. See how many I can get from here. probably two of them, two pieces each. So I'm just going to take a little trimming off of this so I can have a nice solid piece to cut from. So 1 1/4 inch blocks. That's one good thing is with your leftover fabric, you can make these Moda blocks. All right, so let me trim off a wee bit here. Cut 1 1/4. So we have 3, 6. And this will give us 12 from a scrap piece. All right, so there's 12. I think I'm going to be snowballing corners. That's what I honestly believe I'll be doing. How do I want to cut this? Let's do it this way. Yeah. Leave that for scraps. And I just cut this fold off. Cut these to 1 1/4. I think we won't be needing this piece. I'm going to cut about 1/2 inch off of this. Make sure I cut it all even all the way through. So we have 12 plus 8 is 20. How many do I need? 32. There's 8. I end up with 36. That's okay. Okay, so these here are left over. I'm actually keeping all my scrap whites because these here you can use them like I just did. So there is 28, 32. I have 4 left. 32. Okay, so we'll just sit those right there. And let's move this out of the way now because now I can make my block. Okay. I'm pretty sure I'll be snowballing these. I'm almost guaranteed. Let's have a look. Let's turn the page. Yes, that's what I thought. So you're going to snowball each corner. That's going to be super pretty. And then you're going to put them all together like that. Okay. Well, let's do this. Let me grab a design board. Hi, Rachel. All right. So for my 6-inch, I will use this one. As I create all these pieces. So we're going to chain stitch. We're going to chain piece. Welcome back, Nan. Okay. So I'm not drawing a line because I don't need to. I have this marking on my desk or on my sewing machine. Now we're just going to sew these right down the middle. And we're going to do that with all of these pieces. So I don't really need my design board just yet. Oops, that really moved too much. Don't want to go Speedy Gonzalez here because it's very hard to get this to go perfectly from corner to corner if you're going fast. I line it up with this red line on my machine that's already got the tape on it, and I try to get it to go just a tiny hair. I do it a tiny hair on this side, so when I flip it over, it's going to be perfect. I just do a tiny hair on this side, like a hair. You want to go over just a hair, because if you go perfectly from point to point, when you flip your block over, sometimes your block is a little too short and won't match up nice all around the edges. So if you go just a hair away, it'll match up perfect like that. So that's the whole reason behind going from, you go from point, but just a little hair on the side of the point, and you're going to have a perfect block. I won't even have to trim it. You'll see. I might not have to trim it, but I'm not going to hold my breath and pray I don't. This is going to be cute. I'm going to love the colors. That's what you do with your scraps. You just pick your best pieces you like. Like I have more 5-inch squares I could throw in here if I need them. So I'm not worried about that. I have lots of 5-inch squares. But we shall see. And my stitch length is at 2. Did I do that right? It's not really going to matter if the writing's upside down or not. I'm not worrying about directions on this, because the piecing is so small that those itty bitty directions ain't going to matter. Ruby, can I join your Facebook group? Of course you can, Nan. Why even ask such a silly question? I'm gonna link it. I'll link it below the video, or Jeff can put it in chat for you to join, and then he can just go approve you. Oh shoot. I'm probably gonna run out of thread because I noticed my thread was low when I was cleaning my machine all out. I took everything apart, wiped it all down, wiped down the thread thing because it's been sitting. Mind you, It's been sitting, but I've had it covered. I had my cover on. I don't just leave my sewing machine exposed to the dust elements. My house is so dusty all the time, it's sickening. I gotta keep vacuuming the air. That's the last little square. All right. So where is my little guy here? I'll just break it off like this. And they're gonna need ironing. I'm leaving about 1/4 of an inch, roughly, give or take. Not perfect at it. No big deal. But these are all brand new, fresh blades. I'm going to give these a little press. Oh, I think my iron just shut off. Ooh, got a little close there. Now, while my iron's heating up, just give these a little finger press. Be a lot easier to iron, especially with these teeny tiny pieces. I don't want burnt fingers. But you got to do it very carefully because this is the bias. Will stretch. We'll put you there for now. Give these all a little pressing. Those were all lined up perfectly. Same with these ones. See how much easier it is if you finger press them? Easy, easy peasy. Okay. Now we want to sew the other side. In the same direction as the other one. This is what you call snowballing corners. This is what I call it. This is the way I learned it, and that's what it was called when I learned to do it. So it's called snowballing. There's other names for it, but I guess the reason they call it snowballing because the white fabric. Who knows? Who knows? Easy peasy. Hi, Martha. I sent a request to your Facebook group. I just found out the questions. Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of people don't even bother filling those in. I don't know. I don't care. I just let them in. If they look like scammers, I don't let them in. I've blocked a lot of people from my group that just made a Facebook group the same day they requested to join my group, and I'm like, yeah, bye. I watch for those kinds of things unless I know them, and I don't know them. And it's usually some kind of name you can't even pronounce. Like I can never pronounce some of these names they made. So I just don't let them in the group. I don't need the hassle. Because my group will be growing pretty darn soon when I release the new content in August, the end of August. I think I sewed one of these. It's gonna go upside down anyway. I like working with tiny pieces as long as they work out. If they don't work out, then I don't enjoy this. But I think tiny pieces are precious. Yeah. Okay. Done with our blocks. Snowballing. Where's my little guy? I put it back. I know my Sew Sampler box has a new thread cutters in it. They're little mini tiny irons, and you have to cut your threads. Thing is you have to hold and cut it. I like this one better. I don't have to hold this. It just sits on my counter or my table, so I don't have to worry about that. I like this one. Okay. Now time to do these ones. Already gonna cut them. There we go. Okay, that can be put away for now. Let's get these a little ironed. These are done. All right. Done. Now, let's set it up on our design board in order. So, we'll do the pink in the O's, the X's in the green. So we're going to put one there, one there. This way. That way. Now the X will go one this way, one this way, this way, that way. This one. This is cute. Really cute. Hey, this one didn't get ironed. It's flattened. That way. That way. Look how cute. Hi, Amy. All right. Let's sew it together. Together. I kind of would like these to be the writing up, if it's possible. This one is that way. That way. That one has to go that way. Okay. All right. Of course I have to match pieces. Oh, brother. Okay. Iron that and iron it this way. Oops. Now I can nest that. This is what I had to do with my quilt. So that one's good. This one is not. Nope. This way. And it goes this way and this way. No. Damn it. I did the wrong one. This one and this one. There we go. Now do I have to do the same with this? Sure do. Damn. Probably knew that was going to happen. This one. You have to nest these. And if they don't nest, you're not going to have a nice square. That one's good. This one. Flip it around and do it this way. Very, very important you nest your seams. No, this way, right? Because now we should nest. All right, got to do this all over again now. This guy here. Take me a few minutes just to change the direction of the. I don't even know what the pattern tells you to do one way, one the other way. This way. Oops. No, it has to go that way. Because these are the seams I have to nest. Perfect. That one. This one. Feels like they're nested. Okay. This was the bottom. This one, right? This way. I better check that. There we go. This one here is not right. This way, that way, and then we are going to sew it on this side. I'm glad I caught this before I sewed it, because I was going to sew it in the wrong place. Because now that looks like proper, that looks like an X, and that looks right. Okay. Let's get sewing. shoot. Why does my thread keep breaking? That's the second time it's done this. Maybe my thread's too old? I mean, it's only a few months old. I'm pretty sure thread lasts longer than a few months. And that's a shame because this is Orfil thread. Try this one again. Yeah, see? Bird's nest. I'm not sure which way I want to put the seams yet. That's right. Okay. Now, so I'm going to iron this one that way and this one this way. So that they will nest. This one this way and this one this way. This way. This way. I need to put some water in that. Sure. All right. Now we can nest these. Oh shoot. Wow, this is going to be a challenge. Because I can't change this. Oh, let's hope for the best. I'm going to try my best to nest these and put little slits in there, because if these don't match up, it's going to look stupid. And I'm going to actually start sewing. I'm going to sew them one at a time. There's a lot of seams to nest. Now what I'll do is I'll put a little slit in the fabric so it rests back to the way it was. So that can go back there, like so. There we go. No fuss, no fuss. See, because you have to match up this diamond. That's what that was all about. So let's see if I have to do that here too. Yup. So we can match this up perfectly. But we have to move this one. And nest it. Well, this one here is totally okay because it's not sewed in anywhere like these are. I think you just have to work with what you've got, Rubes. I just want it to be perfect. That's how we'll get it perfect. Okay, now I gotta remember this one. This seam has to be ironed. So this seam goes that way, this one has to go this way. So let's iron those down, fix that up. And then we'll open up this. I'm gonna finger do it because there's a lot of seams in there. And my points all matched up. Ruby, are you making any Christmas gifts this year? I'm still not sure what I'm doing yet, Nan. So now we can match these up here in the center. Nest these. And sew it down. Okay. And that one is done. Lots of seams. And this one, need to fix this. It's just gonna be easier if I do it like this. middle seam. I will show you what I will be making though. I'll be making 2 Osola, that's what they're called, Osolas craft bags. One is going to be for my crocheting and one is going to be for my quilt retreat that I'm going to on September the 17th and the 18th. I'm going to a quilt retreat and I'm so excited. Me and my sister are going to go. Yeah, super pumped about that. So I want to make a craft bag and it's by what's her name? So something. I'd have to check it out. And it's a free pattern called Osola Craft Bag. It's super nice. So we adjust for these. Perfect. And we're going to fold this one up. And honestly, it doesn't matter. This X can go wherever way because there's no direction of fabric. Now these center ones, we do have to adjust. We have to adjust the seams here so they nest really nice. And then we have a nice perfect diamond in the middle there. And that's how you achieve it, by nesting up your seams. The middle one should be good. Perfect. And now this one here I have to fold over. Correct it. Kind of pinch it with my finger there. And then I nest it. And then I'll trim it. Okay, perfect. All right. Let's have a look at my. Okay, so this one here. I have to trim it here. So it sits flat. Perfect. And where's the other one? Nice, perfect diamond. Perfect. All right. Let's do this. I gotta stop being lazy. Ruby, is this pattern from the... No, Nan. These patterns here are from this here. Moda Blockheads 3. If you go to Google and type in Moda Blockheads 3, you can get right at the top link will be the archive, and it'll say archive. If you see that, that's where all 56 blocks are. You can download them and print out all 56 patterns. Now, I didn't print all 56 because some of them are appliques and I don't want to do the appliques. So I chose not to do applique blockheads. I just skipped over that. Some of the designers made an alternate one. There's a couple in here that are alternates to their applique because a lot of people don't like doing appliques. So the designer was really nice and gave you an alternate block. So I was glad to see that because I don't want to do the applique ones. I'm seriously not interested in appliques. So not for this quilt. And some of them are really pretty. They're birdhouses with birds. Ruby, my sister, is from BC, and we took a sister trip up to Prescott, Ontario to Watergrow Quilt Company. I got some beautiful material. Lucky you, Debbie. Wow. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I hope you could show me pictures of it. I find them very expensive online anyway, so I don't buy from them for that purpose. So let's see how many corners I have to, seems I have to match. I know this is definitely one of them and the other two. They look like they're perfectly going to nest, all of them. Nice, 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 nice. And then we'll trim this block up and call it done and move on to the 12-inch block. This one's a super easy block, pretty one. Nope. And that is my block. How pretty. All my seams all matched up nicely. There's some threads in here that need to be yanked out. All right, good job. Okay, I'm gonna put some water in my iron because I want to give that a steam so it goes nice and flat. Nice. What do you think of my finished block? Is it not cute? It's so cute. Look at how all the corners matched. Everything perfect. Especially these, this, these, everything lined up. Oh, my retreat's in Thunder Bay. Well, no, it's a 45-minute drive to where it is, basically. It's, where's my 6.5-inch block right here? It's, yeah, 45, about a 45-minute drive. Really not that far. Really not that hard to get to. I am super pumped about going. Okay. Try very carefully not to muck this up. There we go. Beautiful. Love it. And that's that. Look at that. Nice, perfect 6.5 by 6.5-inch block. Now, moving on, but I'm going to take a little break because I can't just sit anymore like I used to. That is really, really pretty, guys. Look. All squared up nicely. So, this piece, oops, that's pretty heavy. So this one will get attached to this one, and that will get attached to that one. And these ones are already all joined. I've decided I'm not going to rip it out. I'm just going to leave it really busy. I'll put borders on it, but I'm not going to rip these out. It's too much work that I just don't have the time to do. So, yeah, I got to give these a little press though. So this was a 12-inch block. I will join these two pieces together and join that together. Isn't that pretty? But I need to put it this side up and this side up. So they would join like that. So it sits like this. Pretty, pretty. So there. I love it. I was going to take this apart. I was thinking about it, but now I think of all the work to take out after I matched up all the seams. I ain't doing that. I'm just going to leave it very busy because that's how it is. Just very busy, busy. But it's so pretty. So this is like I showed earlier, 12-inch block and two 6.5-inch or 6-inch blocks. This one here is a 12-inch block, and those are two 6.5-inch blocks here. So they kind of look really cool. I think the more I look at it, the more I kind of like how all these things just turn out to be different. So before I can make another block like this, I need another 12 and two more 6s. And then we can complete another block. I'll see how many I can make before I actually join them all together and make one full-size quilt top with a border on it. So I'm just going to use all my scraps left over, because I know there's going to be lots. And I'm just going to sew them together, and I'm going to create a border and make it very colorful. So this is going to be a busy quilt top, but it's going to be pretty. And I won't leave that on there because I need actually I don't need this. I need a bigger one for a 12-inch block. That one's too small. All right, I'm going to take a minute's break and just get up for a minute, and yeah. And then we're going to come back and we're going to make this block. So we're going to move on to this block here. So we're going to put this behind, because that's how I'll know what I've gone through already. And we're going to be making this block here. And this one's called Lucky Penny. Ain't that pretty? So yeah, check out Google. Go to Google, type in Moda Blockheads 3 archive. And make sure you get the archive, because you don't want to have to go to each one of these designers' blog and try to find this block on their blog and download the pattern. You can do it directly from the archive. Every single one of these are in the archive, and the picture. So you can pick and choose what you want and what you don't want. So like I've done all these ones. These are my Blockheads 3. These are the previous ones that we've done. I don't like this 19. I remember I made this and it didn't turn out. So I might remake it. We'll see if I run out of patterns. But I've made all these, like this one here, like all of these patterns I've already done. So yeah, this is the ones I've already completed. Oh wait, no, there's other stuff in here. Oh yeah, the applique cuckish stuff, the word love. These are all patterns to the appliques that I just chose to skip. Block 7, I don't know why it turned out like that. What a mess. Anyway, I've done all of these. So this is a new batch, all freshly printed off today. All right. My craft room smells nice. Goodbye, Elvis. Okay. So I need to choose a lot of colors here. I need to choose. What size are these? 64. Okay, so 16 3.5-inch squares. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times 4, 16. I need 16 colors. So you think I could find 16 in this pile of 5-inch squares? There's one. I don't want them upside down. There's two. These aren't quite 5-inch. I'll use that one. There's three. Four. 5. 6. 7. I'm just picking anything. 8. 8. 9. 10. 11. 11. 12. No, those two are the same fabrics. 12. There's two darks. I need a dark. Here we go. 12. 13. 14. 15. And this pretty blue. You just saw it right here. 16. There's my colors. Easy peasy picking. Now I'm going to need white, so I'm just going to grab my white here. That's a fat quarter. And then I'm going to close this up. Okay. Oh wait, I don't want to screw these up. I want to keep them in order. Okay, so there's 8. You know what? These two here, these two are too much. That's too much the same. Let's find a different one. How about this one? Maybe. against the green. I have to starch all of these, unfortunately. And how big? 1 1/4 inch squares. Okay. I need to snowball corners again. So that right there is snowball corners. This is 1 1/4 inch because this is the one I just did. I'm going to cut this one. Eight. $16. I'm going to have room for 24 on this one. 24. I need 64. Yikes. Hi, Tracy. And I'm going to cut this strip to 1 1/4. And I should be able to get another clip. Oh, that moved, didn't it? Yes, it did. I don't know how much I need to take off, so I'm just going to take it off. So this is 4. So we have 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, not the straightest, 48. I'm pretty sure I've got scraps in here that I can finish off that have been starched already, so I don't have to starch them. many did I say I had? 40 or 48? Shoot. Shoot. Does anybody remember what number I left off at? Why are these cutting like that? I need 2 more. I'll get one from here. Yep. Just getting. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. I don't remember how many I left off with. So I don't remember if it was. I don't even need my weight. All right. We're good. I should share. I don't know. I just try to keep things organized as I go. Believe me, I'm not always organized. I promise you, I'm not. All right. I need this. I'll start with the top ones first. But they do have to be starched, unfortunately, especially with all the little tiny piecing. You guys saw how nice the squares go together when you actually spray starch them. So I'm going to just do 2 at a time. And I'm not going to go hog wild. Let my iron heat up. Oh, it's done heating. Just a little bit of starch should be good. All it needs is a little bit of starch. All right, so we'll stack. See how those shrink? See? Yes, starching helps big time. Ask Amy. I'll double these in. Okay. These 2 and these 2 are going to finish off this row. Like, I mean, you can go ahead and not starch this, but I'm telling you, you'll regret it. And another good thing is when you're working with diagonals all the time, like these blocks, a lot of them are diagonal pieces. This starching helps. It doesn't prevent it completely, but it certainly helps you from stretching it when you're sewing it on the bias. So I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference when you start your pieces. Not even lying. I'm not going to get too fussy here because I do have to cut this off. Ouch. Oh, see, Amy's a new sewer too. She bought a machine last year. And she finds starching helps. I tell you, I used to look at people and go, "Are you stupid? Why are you starching your stuff? You're dumb." And I'm like, okay, because Fat Quarter Shop repeatedly said to starch your fabric if you can starch it. And I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to buy starch and I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what all this fuss and brag is about. And I'll tell you what, I haven't stopped starching since. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I seen Fat Quarter Shop do this, and it was I don't remember what she was making, but she said she starches all her fabric pieces unless they're, like I said earlier, unless it's something that you need the whole 5-inch square, the pre-cuts for, then yeah, you can't starch it, and that really sucks. But if you have a background piece and you can starch your whole background, I would starch it. Definitely. I starched my entire Farmer's Wife quilt. Every single fat quarter. As I used it, I starched every single piece. And I'm glad I did, because look at how flimsy this fabric is. And when you starch it, it's a whole different feel to the fabric. It's like, I don't know, 100-pound cardstock. It certainly changes. And it does make a difference. I mean, it sure takes. And if you can, if you have lots of fabric, like I would just get a whole bunch of cans of starch, spray all your fabric, and hang it outside. Or in your bathroom over one of those clothesline dryers. You put it right in your bathtub and you let your starch drip in there. But look at how stiffer this is. You let your starched fabrics dry over your bathtub. And that's something I've neglected to always buy when I really could use one of those clothes dryers that you put in your bathtub. And it's got different, different levels. It's just a wooden pull-out rack. And I noticed a lot of people were hanging all their starched fabrics on those little clotheslines that go in your bathtub. And they just left it to dry. And then they had to iron it all. Of course, you got to iron it. Definitely. You have to iron it after you starch it. But Kimberly, she has a bunch of those racks, and she does all her starching in her bathroom. And she's got her, and she uses a lot of big pieces of fabric, and she just sprays the starch on, hangs them over there, and lets them dry. And then she presses them all. So, yeah, that's this is, of course, a directional piece, but I really don't care about directional right now. Honestly, I'm not. I'm not fussing over directional. Getting down to the last 4. Just spray these 2. All right. Oopsies. And I think the steam helps stiffen it even more. So that's why I steam. I'm only going to cut 8 at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 8 at a time. All right, let's do this. I'm going to cut about an inch off because I don't know how perfectly lined up these are. Here, oopsies. Crying out loud. Okay, what size do these need to be? They need to be 3.5 inches. So, here's 1, 2, 3. All right. There's my square. So there's all 16 of them. Nicely starched. Now we're probably going to have to snowball all the corners. That kind of looks like I have to snowball all 4 corners. Yes, ma'am, I do. That's what you got to do. Now, where does it tell you to iron? Press all seams outward toward the corner to complete stitch and flip unit. So, you want me to do it that way? I want these to all match up. Press outward toward the corner, so I'd be flipping them anyway. Okay. You say so. That's what it says to do. Then that's what I'm going to be doing. Snowballing all these corners, calling them lucky pennies. This fabric feels stiff, and I love the feel of the fabric after it's been starched. It just, like I said, it feels like it's cardstock. going to be a colorful thing. They used black fabric. I'm using white. I'm just following with my background fabric I've been using all along. I don't draw diagonal lines, but you might want to. If you don't have this roll of tape, oh, I can't show you right now. Anyway, this roll of tape come in my Sew Sampler box, and this is only the second time I've ever had to replace this tape, but this middle line is how you would line up your on point pieces. So this tape is like a real blessing in disguise. I love it. I've only replaced it once in probably a year. It doesn't get wrecked easily. And it's the bomb for doing this type of corners, sewing diagonal from corner to corner on making half square triangles. Like some of those quilts I made that I had to draw all the lines on them. Oh my God. Wouldn't have to do this anymore. But with that tape, it saves you a real headache. This is going to take a bit of time. Snowballing all these corners. So, yesterday I had a scare of my life. Has anyone ever had acid reflux where you burp the acid up into your, I guess it leaks out of your stomach somehow, I read about that, but it leaks back up, you burp it up, and you end up inhaling it because you were breathing and choking, gasping for air as if you were an asthmatic person and you couldn't breathe. Has anyone ever experienced that? Because I had that happen to me yesterday, and I honestly thought I was going to die. I couldn't get my breath. I couldn't breathe. So I had to go read online to see what you do about stuff like that. And they're saying to drink a bit of baking soda and water. It is really horrible. And what happens is when you breathe that acid in, it goes into your lungs and it takes a bit to get it cleared out. But I'll tell you what, I could swear I was turning purple because I couldn't breathe. I was freaking right out. And it happened to me right in the middle of watering my garden. I was standing up. I wasn't even sleeping. Yeah, it does scare the crap out of you because you're sitting there as if you're an asthmatic person and you're having an asthmatic attack and you can't breathe. It's awful. I never want to, never. I've had that happen once, a couple times before in my life, and I never want to go through that again. Oh, what I went through yesterday. Oh my God. And then I just didn't feel well after that. I was so traumatized. I don't even know how to explain it. I've had that happen to me twice before in my sleep. I would wake up. It would wake me up, definitely wake me up. And it is a scary, scary thing to go through because it's really, really hard to catch your breath after that acid goes down into your lungs. So right away, Jeff gave me a Pepsid Complete. It says to try store-bought medications. I could feel the acid was still a bit burning, but it was dwindling away slowly. But I really felt really weird after that. I was like, what the frick just happened? Like even I was choking, I was coughing. I tried breathing in a paper bag. I tried to get my breath, and I think the worst part of all of it is you panic. And when you panic, I think it makes it even harder to breathe. But Jeff said, "Oh, I knew you were fine because you were still standing." I tell you, I was at a moment where I felt like I wanted to pass out, and I'm like, "Please, please, please, don't let me pass out." Oh my God, I freaked out so bad. Oh my gosh, I don't want to go through that again. Yeah, that was horrible. Freaking bull. Yep, I don't wish that on anybody. Yes, it can damage your lung, Tracy. I read that. If it happens quite often, it could do some damage to your lungs. Yes. I know my sister had it happen to her too once. So, yes. Pretty scary for anybody, really. Well, that's just like an asthmatic person when they have those fits, that it does damage to their lungs. And they don't even smoke. So, yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. I mean, I didn't read up on it until yesterday of how you could stop it. And it says to either try some ginger, apple cider vinegar, just sip it, and water and baking soda. So that actually helps to push the acid back down. So, wow, I just thought I was gonna die, honestly. I thought this is it. I'm goner. Because I couldn't catch my breath for a long while. I couldn't even breathe. from a small room. It's going to be really hot out today. I was going to go outside and sew, but too hot. No thanks. Have I run out of thread yet? No. Hi, Cynthia. Well, I think I'm going to talk to my doctor because I know they can give you something for that acid reflux. I don't ever want to go through that ever again. I think my sister takes something called Nexium. I'm pretty sure. But I'm pretty sure I read that all those antacids that people take can cause colon polyps. So that's why I'm scared to keep taking that. Oh my God, I'm glad I didn't make this as a 6-inch square. Yeah, I think I can't have foods I used to like to. Nah, anything greasy does not sit well in my stomach. And yesterday I was making butter, garlic, wine flavored mushrooms and shrimp. And I was only tasting them here and there. And after that, that's when this happened. It was shortly after that that this happened. So come supper time, I didn't even touch them. I didn't eat them. I ate some cucumbers and some steak. That's all I had, and it was barbecue. Yeah, I didn't touch the mushrooms and that because I was so scared because butter does not agree with my stomach. So that was not fun at all. Last corners. Yep. What did I miss? Oh yeah, so is Tracy. After this, I'm gonna go do some laundry. I still have laundry from when we went to camp, and I gotta get caught up on it. I've just been really lazy because I know I have to go back to work. And our government here, our prime minister, is forcing Canadians to get the vaccine now. Anyone that works in a federal sector, so or Crown Corporation, have to be vaccinated by the end of September. Or no, October I think it is. And I'm in the Crown Corporation, so they're forcing anyone, and a lot of people are not happy about it because they don't want to get the vaccine. Some people said, that's fine, I'll leave my job. I'm not taking a vaccine. I'm getting the vaccine, I just have to wait after getting my tetanus shot, so I might take it a little bit earlier than what it said. We'll see. I might be forced to. Anyway, so yeah. Yep, that's our Prime Minister. So anybody that works for the government, airlines, ships that do cruise ships, anything like that have to be vaccinated. And they're also setting a passport, a short one, and I know I have extra ones, are setting a passport for a vaccine passport to show proof to get in our country. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. And I know I had some extra ones I threw in here from the last squares I did. And they somehow probably got mixed it up in here. I just need one. Just cut it. And I know this one here is definitely starched. Oops. All right, got it. At least it's starched. I need to starch this little tiny piece. Okay, now I gotta keep these in order. on. See? Yeah. Okay. And with that, actually, let me use my little cutting mat from Cut Quarter Shop. I don't feel like. Wait, I need to flip these over because that's the order I've been trying to keep them in. I am not worrying if these are straight, crooked, or anything. So. But if I push them all up, these are not going to line up. They are not going to line up here. I'm not going to be able to nest them because the seams will be going in the same flipping direction. And I don't like that. Because then you have that chance. You have that chance of them going to be crooked and not lining up. So I got that from Sew Sampler. I got a silicone mat, very small, and this small little Kimberly Cuts rotating mat. Came in all different sampler boxes. Those are nice. Nice little handy tools to take if you're going on a retreat. Hello? Now, let me just check something. So, when I sew this to this, and these are pushed up, see what I mean? These are not going to match. So, I am going to sew these as I go. I am not going to listen to those instructions. So when I sew this together, these will nest. And that's what I like. They're telling you to press all the seams the other way. So I'm not going to press these until I'm done sewing them together. I'm not wrecking this. Now this one here, we'll do this way. This one here, we'll do this way. Oops. No, this way. And attach it this way. And if you put both of these, they don't, it's hard to match them up. I'm not doing it that way. Okay, so this one here, we'll carry on doing it this way. And this one here. Oh, wait, yep, this way. So, this way. And this way. And then I will press this once it's all sewed down. Once I got the block rows done. Gut feeling that was going to happen. So, let's fix. Oops. Move this stuff out of the way. See how that all works? Matches up. Your points all match up here. Now, if I was to do that and just randomly guess, it wouldn't have worked. So now, when we sew our rows together, I'm just going to leave this. I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to do that. So this was this way, right? So I sewed this one up that way. That's okay. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'll do this one. And this one. And then we'll do this one. Oops, no, this one. We'll do that from out far. So that they're all going in the same direction. So this one's going to join here. one. Here, press it this way. Let's see what these four. They go this way. We get attached here. This way. These can just go this way. All right, let's fill them up. So, so when I join these, are these going to nest? Oh my gosh, yes they are. Okay. So we will do all those this way. And all of these this way. That way, these will all nest together. So what you want is to make your diamonds. So I'm going to press this quickly. That one and this one. Well, good for you, Amy. I'm glad you did. All right. Nope. It goes that way. Right. So what we want is we want these points to match. We want our points to match up. That's so important to me. But it is going to be pretty. The colors of fabrics, guys. I have to get going because I have a lot of laundry to do, and Jeff needs work clothes tomorrow, anyways. And maybe tomorrow, if I don't have a whole lot to do, I might come back and finish up my squares, make some more, because I do want to finish this next. So if you guys want to join me tomorrow, I'll probably try my best to come live. I cannot absolutely promise, that I'll be here, but it's looking okay. All right. So I'm just going to leave this. We'll finish it tomorrow. All right. Didn't even finish my coffee, Jeff, maybe. You too, Jan. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm off to go do laundry. Yuck. God bless y'all. Bye.